Hey everybody, and welcome back to 3COG. Today we're going to talk about the Supreme Court case in regard to the Second Amendment that just came out here in the last few days. New York State Rifle and Pistol Association Incorporated versus Brune, Superintendent of New York State Police. There will be a link for the entire actual Supreme Court decision in the description below, and I encourage you to read it. It is 135 pages. I've read the entire thing. Relatively interesting, but don't just repeat the same thing you hear people saying. Like, take time to actually read the documents and figure out how they affect your life. So overall, it's good news. So largely speaking, right, for those who didn't know, in New York you had to have multiple permits to be able to take a gun with you to go shoot it, to go outside with it, stuff like that. And the these two gentlemen, Brandon Kosh and Robert Nash, applied to get their license unrestricted so that they could carry concealed, or a concealed handgun permit, as is commonly known in many states. New York already had granted them a license to transport their guns to a shooting range, which it's trash that New York even had a license like that. But they wanted an unrestricted license so that they could carry a gun to defend themselves. And New York has the proper cause clause, which means that you have to justify why you think you need to carry a gun. So New York is a may issue state, just like Maryland, just like California, Hawaii, couple others. There's 6 states in total, and the Supreme Court ruled that it's unconstitutional for them to require any special circumstances. One of the best lines from it is the fact that the Second Amendment is not called it a second tier or something. Looking at the actual document, like I said, it's really long, but the entire conversation here in the decision is basically based off the fact that handguns are in common use. Yeah. They're in common use, so they're not unusual. It's not weird or anything like that. They're not strange weapons. And that requiring anything extra besides, like, I want to carry a gun for self-defense, right? Requiring anything extra than that is a violation of the Second Amendment. So that is what the Supreme Court found, which is great news for everybody who's pro-Second Amendment. It doesn't change anything in regard to the state's right to set requirements for getting a concealed carry permit. I believe California has already changed their policy on it, of saying that, you know, basically effectively because of this Supreme Court decision, every state has to be a shall issue state. Like, as long as you pass a background check, as long as you pass whatever is required by the state, you don't have to justify the reason for you to carry a gun beyond the fact that you don't want to be unalived by some asshole. So that's all good. City's police department requires extraordinary personal danger documented by proof of recurring threats to life or safety. When a licensing officer denies an application, judicial review is limited. New York court defers to an officer's application of the proper cause standard unless it is arbitrary and capricious. Yeah, so basically, like, you have to justify why you should carry a gun. And this does away with it. Like, you know, carry a gun because I can. Document references DCV Heller many times over, and I recommend you, I'll leave a link for DCV Heller as well so you can read that entire document. But DCV Heller was all about being able to have a gun inside your home, whereas this one is all about being able to carry a gun and the unnecessary burden that certain states put on law-abiding American citizens to be able to carry a gun. In that, you know, No, I don't have to have an emailed threat or a letter, saying somebody's out to get me to desire to carry a gun for my self-defense. So this is one of the best quotes from this document, and that is, "The constitutional right to bear arms in public for self-defense is not a second-class right subject to an entirely different body of rules than the other Bill of Rights guarantees. We know of no other constitutional right that an individual may exercise only after demonstrating to government officials some special need. That is not how the First Amendment works when it comes to unpopular speech or the free exercise of religion. It is not how the Sixth Amendment works when it comes to a defendant's right to confront the witnesses against him, and it is not how the Second Amendment works when it comes to public carry for self-defense. New York's proper cause requirement violates the 14th Amendment in that it prevents law-abiding citizens with ordinary self-defense needs from exercising their right to keep and bear arms. We therefore reverse the judgment of the Court of Appeals and remand the case for further proceedings consistent with this opinion. It is so ordered." So that's the that was the end of Justice Thomas's opinion, and then there are some concurring opinions after that from other people who agreed with that, and then there are some dissenting opinions from people who disagreed with it. The concurring opinions from Justice Alito and Alito and from Justice Kavanaugh. Most of these are kind of addressing the dissenting opinions, which come later in the document. The dissenting opinions are largely full of statistics talking about, that guns are dangerous. We know that's why we carry them for self-defense. That's the point. But it's a very, very interesting read, and I recommend take the time, read the decision. It affects a lot of people. If you travel through certain states, hopefully this means it'll be easier for law-abiding people to get concealed carry permits in, Maryland, New Jersey, Hawaii, California, D.C., New York, obviously. I really, this should be good things. Justice Barrett, additionally, was concurring on this. This is a huge win for the Second Amendment, as this is a Supreme Court ruling that not only is it an inalienable right that we have as American citizens, those of us who are law-abiding and are, following the rules, and we just choose to carry a gun to protect ourselves. This is a Supreme Court ruling that backs that up. It's going to make it more difficult for more anti-gun laws to pass. It's going to make it more difficult for people to restrict the rights of law-abiding citizens to carry. So it's a very, very good thing. Read the full document down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on 3COG.